Hi there. This is a quick video to describe the setup for a test that I'm going to do shortly, comparing the new RSPdx SRRPlay's new SDR against what is kind of one of the reference SDR receivers over the past few years, the Elad FDM DUO. I'm fortunate enough that I've got two Wellbrook ALA 1530s. I have had for quite a long time. I've only ever really used one of them. So rather than have one antenna and switching over with an antenna switch, even easier, I've got two identical antennas, both magnetic loops, and each one is going to be connected to the RSPdx and the Elad FDM DUO, and then I can literally just be turning up the volume up and down on each. In my old QTH, the Wellbrook loop was outside, but it was in the garden shed. Here, that's not going to happen for a while, so I've sealed the BNC connector with self-amalgamating tape, which everybody should do, so everything's kind of watertight. There's my G5RV, which is still standing after several days, and so yeah, I want my subscribers to kind of know that I'm not converting to sort of ham radio. I'm going to be leaving shortwave listening or DXing. I'm definitely not going to do that. I'm going to enjoy both parts of the hobby. And so, although I put the G5RV up in a video the other day, I'd already put up one magnetic loop. Putting up the Wellbrook loop, that was actually the first thing that I did. So, you guys know me. I love an experiment, but I don't have a lot of time to, because I'm not retired and I've got every day lots of free time every day. I haven't kind of like spent the last week drilling holes through the wall and putting in filter panels and what have you. I like the easy way, and that's basically passing the coaxial cables through my patio door using window jumpers. Now, I can't find anywhere where you can buy these, but I'm very fortunate that my good friend Dennis at Benito, actually he donated these to me when I was doing some testing on his products, and so and they work very well. The two that I've got on either side are for the magnetic loops, and then there's another one for the G5RV, so that passes into the shack quite nicely without me having to do very much work other than seal them up with self-amalgamating tape. So as we go back into the shack, I'm going to do another video on my setup here, but as you can see, I'm embarrassed. It's such a mess right now, but anyway, so here's the Elad FDM DUO. I only managed to find the power supply for it about an hour ago. I've been looking for it everywhere, but it did turn up. And I've connected it to one of my Lenovo laptops and fired it up. This is the German service for the Voice of Turkey, just to test that everything's working well, and it is on that huge signal with 10.5 kilohertz audio bandwidth filter. And here's the same signal on the SRRPlay RSPdx, same filter bandwidth. Now, what you might have noticed is that I'm so fortunate that my noise floor, even at 12:42 p.m, is approaching minus 130 dBs, which is absolutely fantastic. And what's interesting, and I better double check this, put my glasses on, is that the noise floor on the Elad does actually look slightly lower, but I'm on HF here. It's smack on minus 130. It's just above 130 on the RSPdx. Anyway, I'll show you where that is actually. So that's actually down here on the floor. So there it is. And as I said, both the RSPdx and the Elad connected to identical antennas. So what's going to be really interesting, of course, is comparing the performance of the Elad, which has been my kind what SDR receiver for medium wave DX for, I don't know, 3 years, at least 3 years now. But what makes this a compelling experiment is the fact that the Elad, and I've got the RX-TX version. I think is that over £1,000 now? I know the receive only version is about 800, or is it 850, something like that. It's over £800, I think. Whereas the RSPdx, I think, is 220, and there are other kind of RSP variants that are even cheaper than that. And you know, I think I've said it before that the RSP 1A offers about 90% of the performance of an Elad for about a quarter or a fifth of the price. So I think here, with the RSPdx, which has this new high dynamic range kind of mode. It makes it even more sensitive below 2 megahertz than its predecessor. Makes it really compelling, because what you have here potentially is a receiver that costs about a quarter of the Elad, and actually performs as well, or does it perform even better than the Elad? You know, who knows? But that's what I'm going to try and test. I suppose probably the most likely outcome is that the performance is going to be so similar it doesn't matter. Then it just becomes a function of cost. You know, do you want an Elad for 800 odd pounds, or do you want an SRRPlay for sort of 200? I know what the answer to that question for most people is going to be. So there you go. So that's the setup. Two almost identical computers, both Lenovo, both running Windows 10. Two identical antennas. There they are. Quite a long way from here. And some comparison testing on using the same signal. So let's see what the outcome is. I'm quite excited with this one. I can't call it. I think probably they're going to be so similar in performance that it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, you know, only an experiment will confirm that. Other than that, I got to be tidying up, because as you can see, this whole place is just a rat's nest of cables and God knows what. So I need to tidy up. But I don't mind that too much. I'm just pleased to be in a much larger QTH and have more room to enjoy our great hobby. Well, I hope you found that interesting, and I'll probably start the experimentation later on today and tonight. Okay, thanks for watching. 73.